And yeah, I think that we will, in the end here, go with a thrower of some kind, and I'm definitely down to agree with Jim there, and go with Zom, at least if we're able to. Do we start with Chaos Knight? Sure. Let's do it. Chaos Knight of Claws, baby. And then we, I believe, used up the majority of rock-based puns during the Great Player section of my runs. I mean, it's been long enough though, right? Raw Control, I've had to have used this name before. Like, there's no shot that this is an original thought in the first place, right? I guess we'll try it out and we'll see how it goes. I feel like a Zom run really can only count if you Chaos Knight at the start and never switch. Perfect, then we're definitely in good company here. We'll start with unarmed training, but I'm planning on pivoting into throwing basically as soon as it seems feasible. So with that in mind, I'm picking up everything, even stones, which I've been ignoring for the most part recently. Skills, that, and last but not least, drop the morgue file. This time I remembered to, just in case, have a backup. I mean, if I'm being completely honest, it's because I was hoping and assuming that we'd win the run and need to start a new one, but there we go. For all you lovely folks who play along at home, can use the seed and see how you fare in the same dungeon. And then let's just jump to it, shall we? The start of this run should be fairly straightforward, if I had to guess. Trolls are very, very strong in the first few floors of the dungeon, so with just our claws, and you know, as long as Zom doesn't get any ideas that are too wacky and wild, we should be able to clear our way through without too much of a care in the world. Even scary uniques are likely to be taken care of in short order if we can help it. Don't remember me picking it, and you watched a lot of them. Which is that for the Rue run? Or am I mixing things up here? Was my Oni? My Oni was Rue. My Oni shapeshifter. It's funny how much I've managed to forget about content that I created. Especially since the Rue run was fun because it had gone on for so long, or rather I'd gone on for so long not having much of an appreciation for what Rue is capable of. Oh no, and you meant the raw control name? Perfect. Well, we'll assume, even if shown differently, that this is the most original, hilarious thought in the world, and nobody has ever seen a troll like me. Okay, go into a little bit of a safety corridor, though Robin does get around that slightly by tossing friends every which way to and fro. Oh, an armor's too small for me, right? I knew that. Didn't awkwardly try and squeeze my giant troll head into a tiny, puny goblin helmet. No, that would be embarrassing, and we're not about that. Oh, we do an impromptu tap dance. Well, I appreciate your appreciation, Zom, and I hope that we continue this relationship in good spirits moving forward. And definitely, I'm excited for when we can finally start committing a little bit more to the throwing side of things. We will have to build up a nice ammunition cache. Tropa tip darts? Zom, who are you? Turning into Oka over here? Okawaru, and giving me throwing gifts? It's either that or I should be asking you kindly to stop listening in on my my dialogue here, because you definitely have too much forethought as to what exactly we're building for here and what our plans are for the future. Okie dokie. All in all, not too shabby. Every once in a while I'm just looking over to make sure there is still some music playing in the background. Oh, that was Snake sung by Zom. Definitely threw me for a loop for a moment there. Was not paying attention to the text dialogue below, and had no idea why a summoned enemy just appeared out of thin air in front of me. I guess probably fairly similar to how my character felt. So role-playing at its finest. We're in too deep and we're going pure method on this troll. But that should just about be that floor. Again, the first few floors of the dungeon, pretty much the most straightforward you can get. With a lovely troll boy such as ourselves here. Love short range teleport. Thanks, Zom, I guess. And let's see, willpower on Artifact Ring is not too bad, but all in all, this is not that impressive, really. Another note, you think it's appropriate to have Zom be our patron here? Gotta troll the troll, right? It's only fitting, really. Makes a lot of sense. Well, I guess I don't take anything from you. I was hoping you'd have more scrolls for sale, my friend, but that is fine, to each their own. And let's, speaking of scrolls, head up here. I'll probably buy a bunch of IDs. And teleport. I was debating buying one less ID to get by a Fear Scroll, and I probably should have. All things considered, Fear Scrolls are pretty great tools, especially in the early game, but let's just assume that everything will be hunky-dory and fine, and we won't have any desperate need for an escape anytime in the near future. Just be the easiest run in the world. Spirit Guardian, besides the fact that I have an almost non-existent mana pool, pretty swell. I like that. We'll be gaining strength almost constantly throughout the run here, which is lovely in its own right. And as always with a troll character, our main goal for the early to mid game is to find some source, if not sources, of regeneration. Ooh, and the bright magenta cloak to really make ourselves stand out here in the dungeon. It's how you become a fashion icon. Doesn't always look good in the traditional sense, but it's all about making a statement, you know? Being heard visually. That makes sense. Which I'm sure all my fashionistas out there definitely already understand. I need not explain further. You get it. Okay, drain nearby. Oof. There we go. That iguana definitely had a little bit more of a punch to it. Amulet of Reflection. We're gonna get everything except for regen amulets, if I had to guess. Only fitting. And does look like we then got distant drain that direction. So drains here somewhere, sir? I would like to get into the sewer because it's one of the potential early sources of troll leather armor if we get lucky. Which, you know, I don't want to dive too far into the complex morals of wearing my own people's skin, but all we should focus on is how ridiculously strong that will make us early on here. So I'm almost hoping we fight off against a tiny malnourished troll down this way, especially since it would be some semblance of revenge for our previous character who died so horribly to said malnourished troll's older sibling, Parget. Because it's Porgy and Parget? Something like that? Something like that. Find purples and blacks work together? Definitely do. I prefer a deeper purple, like a royal purple would be nice. The magenta, I think, is just a bit much. You know, either pink or purple, pick a lane. This, like, vibrant magenta is just, maybe it's because it's just not my jam in this context for a cloak. Not to say anything against the color in general, because I feel like most things on the color wheel have time and place. It can look pretty snazzy in the right context. Fashion isn't about looking good in the traditional sense. It's about to look so ugly that you can only be wearing it because it's in, and a year later it'll be very out. Exactly. That's the statement piece. Gotta make sure we're making a name for ourselves, but not in that department, but otherwise, a hornet. This is our first main issue point of the run. What I'm tempted to do is just throw a large rock. Very low chance we hit, But if we do hit, it's good damage. Okay, do immediately get slowed. Makes sense. Makes sense. The main thing throwing it off is the dark auburn hair. And I have no idea. Is that hair? Do trolls have luscious locks? I gotta get the name of your hairdresser. I mean, it's an interesting look. Again, the like racing stripe of shave down the middle with bushy sides. It's either that or it's just pure sideburns. It's actually completely shaved on top, big bushy sideburns. That's how they get you. That's style, baby. I guess we can just booterfly. Then go team. Take care of the hornet. I believe in you. More power to the people. Okay. And then we get one more large rock. Kind of works. One more flash of the flame wand. Do get paralyzed, but I'm hoping that was just enough damage to squeak by and we do kill our poison wielding friend there. That's fantastic. Might as well put on a Ring of See Invisible while we're here too. You like to imagine luscious locks with the shaved stripe. It's a much more conscious choice and funnier that way. And that fits, son of a gun, fits with our overall imagery of this character. Okay, maybe I wasted all my time getting fancy with that initial hornet, because apparently if I just start slapping, that does the trick too. Gotta just believe in the troll here. But we're actually at a pretty decent spot in terms of our unarmed. Yeah, 24 damage rating at 0.8 attack speed at this stage in the game is just silly. So I think it's time. You know, a smidge of throwing in there. And hopefully by the time that that's up to snuff, we will have a decent compartment in our backpack filled to the brim with mainly large rocks. Again, if we want true revenge, Jesus, thank you, Zom. Appreciate it. Maybe not completely necessary in that context, but hey, you do you. You know more than I could ever hope to even witness, much less learn. Phew. These sons of guns are definitely hitting a little harder than I thought they might. I could turn into a tree, though the steam is not gonna care over much about that. Hum-de-dum. Glass is getting a little bit on the empty side. I'm curious, without my headphones on, I'm curious if there will be any impact to the overall flow of music versus speech. Because at the end of the day, even though I don't consciously do it too much, I do feel like I very often speak with the rhythm of what I'm listening to. And now, with me being unable to hear, I'm worried that it'll be just a huge clash and suddenly everything is out of sorts, and this will be actively painful to listen to. But who knows, I guess. But I will turn into a tree just to get the job done. And one of you does drop your skin. Thank you so much. Oh, I didn't realize this was a +2 robe, but still slightly better to go into my Steam Dragon armor. It's not too shabby. And Tom, if you want to send me more summons, I don't mind whatsoever. Appreciated the help, really. And we indeed. You've heard that despite clearly being a challenge god overall, Zom does have their perks. Apparently usually end up with a pretty favorable mutation list. Definitely favorable mutation list. I mean, if you just get lucky too, you can have some pretty crazy things happen. If like the majority of the negative side effects occur when you're in a comfortable position, like right now, if I get teleported into a group of enemies, that's totally fine. Versus just one time getting a favorable outcome. Oh geez, what am I doing? I don't have any curing. Oh no. Well, it's not over yet. It's not over till it's over, as we've always said. but turn invisible, that's a good start. Potion of magic, not so great, but I'll take it. Speaking of mutations, have a few of those now, including robust. Robust could do the trick. Okay, attraction, that's not going to do it. Feel very mighty, that's pretty solid. Degeneration, not good. And heal wounds at the end, perfect. Now, if my mighted strikes could just murder this son of a gun, hell yeah, brother. Never a doubt in my mind, of course. Easy clap and all that good stuff. Hopefully they drop some Steam scales, can wear that. Yes, we can, and it's looking pretty good on that front now. Can you ambrosia as a tree? I do believe you can. But yeah, no, we knew that we would comfortably handle that. Not panicking at all as we frantically emptied our satchel of every single bottle and ointment we could possibly come up with. Yeah, basically went perfectly according to plan. So we'll save the potential. Ooh, I saw some large rocks in our teleport spree. Again, that's kind of one of those situations where as long as we don't end up in an unfavorable spot with our teleportations, I just got a free tour of the level. I gotta, you know, dip my toes in the water and see various bits and bobs, and now have a complete understanding, a holistic knowledge of everything we shall face. And with that knowledge, I devised a master plan to complete, of course, the hardest of areas. Dungeon 7. Worth every penny, worth every moment, every synapse that went into this this master stroke plan. So thank you, Zom, I guess. Ooh, those are abyss tiles. That's cool to see. Do enjoy those quite a bit. Ooh, and see invisible is nice to have with that son of a gun bopping around. I feel like it's been a long time. I mean, potentially since I even saw an unseen horror, or I guess potentially even since I didn't see an unseen horror, it's been a long time. And yeah, do not let's let all of you come to me, please and thank you. Perfect. I do appreciate your cooperation here in our trying time. And should be able to just jump through everyone else here. Fantastic. Frantically emptied. It was the tactical identification of your items. Of course, measured and responsible in our chugging of various liquids of dubious effect, I guess. Oh, this is not a special vault. Oh, interesting. Oh, this changes everything. Should definitely just poison you up though, my friend. Let's stop faffing about there. Houdini. Either, that kind of sounds like a name, not necessarily that I would come up with, but either me or with the help of chat would come up with a pun like that, or someone out there has got a good head on their shoulders. I love it. Houdini is a good name. Thank you, Zom, for a couple extra summoned enemies. Appreciate it. I don't have fire resistance, but maybe we kill everything fast enough? Again, hate to sound like a broken record, but don't have fire resistance. Oh my gosh, maybe we don't go unarmed. Elemental Staff, sick as hell. I love this weapon so much. This is one of my favorite unrand arts, especially since as spellcaster, this is probably my #1 choice of stat stick. Because yeah, just the additional AC and resistances across the board, chef's kiss on that son of a gun. Well, I'm definitely picking you up, and likely we'll be trying to get a wee bit of training in at some point. Do you know what? I'm gonna read a teleport scroll, at least ensure that we kill the boulder beetle. Feel a bit more experienced. Fantastic.